Whoops! Vous êtes en direct. Déjà un like, already a like on YouTube. YouTube, you are fantastic. And I'm going to tell you why you are fantastic. So welcome once again to this lunch with us at the Agile Lounge for Business Agility. I'm your host, Coach AF. Yes. So we are letting you in. Welcome to the virtual Agile Lounge. Please get inside. The sound seems okay. Checked in here. Do we have an alert that we are tremendously live? So let's check it out. That's all the user experience on both YouTube. And let me start. Of course, our friend this Friday, I decided to, we're going to start also our friend over at Instagram, because right now there's a competition. Which one will be 500s? Yes, which one will get to 500s follower or subscriber? And we are live on YouTube. That's perfect. So let's get the people on the Instagram with us. No. So now the user experience of YouTube, I'd win over the user experience of Facebook and Instagram. Yes, because you know, this is the thing. So how do I, okay, like this. Perfect. You see my monkeys? So welcome to the 5 of you right now on the live of YouTube. Please, again, interact with me, not just like and send me some tips. We're going to talk about it later. But yes, you could have your questions. You could propose your team and exchange between you. This is an open space, an open free and space that for you. So let me now start this Instagram thing and make sure that we are all right. All right. So let's do this. Are we in or we are not in? Sorry about that, YouTube. Bullshit. Okay. I love this, but not that much. We are going to. All right, so. Vérification de votre connexion Internet. Hello, Instagram. Welcome once again to this edition of Friday Live Agile. That's funny because right now there's a contest. You know that, right? Stabilization, please, get in the room of Agile Lounge for Business Agility. I'm Coach AF and I'm welcoming you all channel, Instagram Live and YouTube. And I will try to, maybe if I do this like that, is it good? Oh yes, it's still so. Because yes, I am not in my Montreal studio. I am not with all my perfect gear. So again, a twinkle to my good friend Chris over at Badass Agile, which is another great podcast, because there's no competition between any one of us. As someone wrote me an email to say, oh, why are you talking about your competitor on podcast? It is not, because Chris has an angle, Chris has other ideas, and yours truly too. And more we are talking about Scrum, Agile, and for me, in my case, business agility. I'm passionate about it because I would like to agilize everything. Yes, we are going to agilize everything, guys. So for me, more we are to talk, and I would like to shout out Steph over at Scrum Consulting, if I'm right, on Instagram. She's doing a great job of helping newcomer to Scrum, and this is amazing what she did, because back in the day when yours truly started back in 2001, 2002 with Scrum, I only have the chance to read the book of Ken Schreiber and Mike Beadle that will become my mentor a couple of years after. And with the engineer, we just built it. There was no guide. There was nothing. There was no fantastic people such as Stephanie that I shout out to help them with her program. Now she has to help Scrum Master gaining experience, because that's the thing. And this is one of the podcasts on their Real Agile where yours truly talked about it. We talked about the certification inflation, right? So a lot of people get certified in Lean, Scrum, and stuff. But all good is to be certified and you pass the test because you're good at memory, but you didn't practice. So I think a program like hers and others, and even mine, but mine is more like for coaching and next level coaching though. So you have to get about something like 1 to 2 years experience. We still have our mentorship program for free on a subscription and minimum tips. Yes, because we still have to do a living. It's been a year that Agile Lounge give a lot of things for free. now, even if our government and most part of the world are still wanting to difficult for traveling and to exchange and have contract, and the things are changing right now. So, but now yours truly will start to. I will offer a lot of things free here on my YouTube channel. So please, if you're new by your passage, give me a like for this video, share it to enlighten someone else, and more importantly, subscribe and hit the bell every Friday at noon, unless I'm with a client, or unless something happened to me. I should be live always. And during the week, sometimes we have a shorter video of tips and stuff, that subject that we talked over about Scrum, Lean, and business agility, because Agile Lounge is for business agility, not just software development and IT. Please, 20 years after this great manifesto, I hope we understand that. And I would like to start this in this program this week on sizing and estimation. Why are you sizing? Why so serious? Actually, I should have said, why are you estimating when you have a fixed budget, right? And a fixed timeline for your release, right? So thank you for the like on YouTube. For those on Instagram, okay, here's the thing. I'm doing it for free as a volunteering Scrum Master and Agile Launcher. But of course, I did receive last week not only 12 new subscribers on YouTube, and about an astounding amount of new followers on Instagram that follow my meme and stuff, and we have a lot of fun. It's a lot more funnier than LinkedIn. LinkedIn is more like, some people say this is the new lead generation. Well, we'll see about that later. That was probably the biggest week since Christmas. More follower and more subscriber. I would like to thank Bridget. Bridget, who gave me 0.085 something Bitcoin. That might be a value of somewhere around 50 to 55 US dollars. So thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Bridget, not only to be a business agilist, but also to be part of this orange pill. Are you guys orange pill on Bitcoin? Because yes, I'm accepting Bitcoin as donation, and this is why I thank her. It's the second person from Europe. The first one was Jeremy 2 weeks ago from Scotland, and Bridget, she's from Sweden. And thank you very much. I just know in German, Denke. I don't remember. God, my Swedish. I'm losing my Swedish. But anyway, thank you very much for this Bitcoins. So for those on YouTube and those on Instagram, just go on YouTube. You have my PayPal. For the Canadian, you could send me an Interact bank transfer. And of course, I'm accepting Bitcoin and Ethereum as donation. And I receive also $10 from Julia. She didn't say anything, so Julia somewhere. So thank you for this $10 via PayPal. So I really appreciate, because on top of the thumbs up, on top of the subscription, and the great comment that I receive also, a lot of people seems to be shy to comment right down below, which will help me with the algorithm. So please, if you have something to say, even against me, I don't care. Please do so, because we'd like to have an open space, not a safe space. So I won't get offended by anything. And apparently I'm offending people when I say Scrum Fuckup. Yes, because I receive a lot from last week episode that I was bold and rude. Apparently I'm rude. But you know, I try to be as much on the person. I will never in my show mention that person. Okay, yes, I did 2 weeks ago about an Etienne Laverdière, because he's a fucking asshole. Yes, I mean, this guy for true is a fucking asshole, because he flagged me on Meetup for posting quotes of Mike Beadle into his fucking safe, poor shit thing. That safe is not Agile, it's not even Scrum. So you could watch this replay. And so yes, of course, sometimes I could get vocal to asshole that bully me on LinkedIn. I will start dropping name of those jealous people, those insecure, anxious people that write to me in private to bully me, even if I let go, even if I don't care, because I'm not scared. But at some point, you want to get in that, you want to start a fire, I'm going to be the oil sometimes, not always, because we don't have time. You know, I have to serve my client. It's really important. My client is the most important thing in my life, and also my coachee, those that I coach and mentor in my program. So of course, this is my first priority. And then after, I will have some fun with those assholes. But most of the time, I never call name. So you could say whatever you want. So that's the thing. So I need more interaction with you to help the algorithm. And right now that was kind of crazy because I said to my agile coach, I'm the agile coach. I said to my marketing coach, Samuel Bal, should I do something about like a contest between Instagram and YouTube? And he says like, blah, I don't know. These posts are not read. Yeah, motherfucker, I got you. The coaches become more powerful than the master, than the coach, because I actually make a little thing in Canvas, with the logo of Instagram, the logo on YouTube, stating that I've got these subscribers on YouTube. It was 223 when I started it, and 223 on Instagram, and 225 subscribers on my YouTube channel. And then I said, please, guys, especially for YouTube. Instagram, I couldn't care less. But YouTube, that will be very important, guys, because as soon as yours truly, because I don't want to pay Google, Alphabet, or Facebook for any ads or whatever. I'd like to do it organically. I'd like to do it with people who really want to hear about business agility, agile, Scrum movement, and also the cryptocurrency movement and everything, because we are going to unleash the next level agile coaching. It's about it. Huh? We'll talk soon about this, probably in a specific capsule that will be premiere. So this is why when you subscribe to my Agile Lounge channel on YouTube, you have to hit the bell to get notified, because we're not sending emails. We do email campaign. That's another story. But really hit the bell, and then you'll get notified, and you can come back later. And we always do premiere to be interactive with you, because me or my team will be in the chat, even if it's not live, to interact with you. Because, one of the Agile value is interaction, individual and interaction over processes and tools. So that's very important that you guys are joining into this interaction. It's not just for the algorithm, by the way, because I'm meaningfully calling you to have a conversation with you. It's really important that we make this advance. And this is why the Clubhouse, we tried it now. So I'm gonna do some dedicated Clubhouse at some point to get free space, open space conversation, audio on Clubhouse. But right now I got other priority, such as getting my YouTube to 1,000 to unleash freebies from Google that will make me doing better and a lot more quality content, such as going live with my iPhone 11 Pro Max, which is a 4K camera, better than the MacBook Air, even better than my actual iMac that I have in Montreal, and that I never bring when I do digital networking work, whether or not the pandemic. By the way, I don't care about this, because before the pandemic, I was moving also around, depending of my contract, throughout the United States and the world. So guys, that being said, bring me to 1,000, especially, but 1,000 meaningful people who would like to talk about business agility, conscious leadership, and freedom lifestyle for entrepreneur, as well as cryptocurrency. This is my fourth team that you heard about. And of course, Agile Travel. This is in part of the FLEP program. The FLEP program, it's really the program to help people swap from their daily job to a more freedom lifestyle entrepreneur things. If you have a passion, if you have something that you could show up in the world and make money out of it, like the Joker used to say, why so serious? And if you're good at something, charge for it. Yes, we are in the world in this, and now the exchange of money is not just money. It could be everything, co-creative services, and so on. So I've been rambling for 14 minutes, and we're still not talking about sizing and estimation, especially in Scrum. Because again, let's do a lexicon a little bit, okay, for all of us. And objective reality. I'm not I'm not an holder of the truth. But after some almost 20 years, because I'm going to say 20 years of using Scrum process and systems that I started somewhere in the spring of 2002, I have to look at it because I know I was having that job in May. So probably somewhere in May, that's my birthday in Scrum, in 2002. So it's going to be 19 years old. Yes, I am a 19 years old Scrummy. And I got I'm at 987 team that I brought to a Scrum, because it's not the Scrum, it's a Scrum. And when I explained it to a guys, I was talking a future potential client. I said like, oh, you talked about tailoring Scrum, so you mean Scrum butt? Hey, and excuse me. And on his LinkedIn, this guy wanted to hire me to help them transform the organization. He just have like 3 years of agile, lean, blah blah blah. So lexicon. Again, the equation that made the manifesto 20 years ago possible was actually the equation of lean thinking and lean process, the lean systems from Toyota, from Japan, that came into software development and blah, blah, okay? And they add into that equation, especially there were 4 people of Scrum and 3 people among the 17th century of the extreme programming. And extreme programming was also a lean system. So you have to understand that most of the 17 engineer and consultant were not agile, because it's Mike Beadle with Jim Highsmith that debate about the word. So how could we call ourselves? So they take 1 day out of the 3 days of skiing resort and snowbird to actually came up with the term agile, and then the coffee break, writing of 4 value with Martin Fowler at the wall, and then the principle in the afternoon, and they were happy, and this became the Agile Manifesto for software development back then. It still is, and now that evolved with a lot of things in marketing, sales, IT, other sphere of IT then beside the thing. But what they had, that was the lean thinker back then. That was like a new way of project management. So what does the manifesto as emphasize is the integration of the customer, having customer collaboration, to be more in tune. So we produce a software. Is it good for the user that work at government or defense ministry or the bank? That specialist, that business, make it more agile, and the product slowly but surely became more in a continuous delivery and going faster into the market, solving faster the problem and the maintenance of the product. So that became more a cycle of product management, because the product was more important than having a project, and the project tends to give us milestone. Who says milestone says waterfall, so it's not agile. So this is why even today, only 17% of the organization in the CHAOSS report, the report of State of Agile 2019, they said we are agile. But yeah, they said we are agile, and they do a lot of techniques from the other. So agile, it's really a mindset, is really the base camp of it is the 4 value, the 12 principle that you could adapt and tailor to your context. As I would like to salute Modern Agile did a great job to make those 4 values and the wording that could talk to anyone in any sphere of the enterprise, not just software development, of course. And this is why in this value, we talk about product, not a software, per example. So for instance, and then lean was there before, and this is like more like a cycle of do more with less spending. So and cut what is not meaningful. But Scrum was that. So when I talk about business agility, it's the entire way of bringing the value of being agile and fast responding to change. And this, you don't need to be a software programmer. You don't need to be in production for that matter. You could be in a creative side. You could be in marketing. You could be in sales. And you adopt that kind of agile mindset. So yes, agile is a mindset. I don't care about the debate. Do we do agile or we are agile? Mostly if you adapt the culture, if you adapt value systems, you are. Okay, you're not doing that shit. And from that value system, you will create things that will make you do something more meaningful, such as a framework process, as extreme programming, pair programming, Kaizen, and the creative sides. And Kanban, again, is just a fucking board. It's not even a system. The flow systems that right now is getting more and more traction. And this is why at the Agile Lounge, we believe that DevOps will be the future of the and yes, please subscribe and hit the bell like my friend at the Grand Sound background just did. So you have to do this. So truly, guys, this is the mindset. So lexicon is about it. So today we are talking about the framework, process, and system of Scrum that a lot of automated Scrum Master or business owner seems to want to apply the guide that exists only since 2006, 7-ish, and then they did another review in 2017, and then for the 25th anniversary last November, they did a shitty thing of 13 page. Yes, a shitty thing because the problem is not Jeff and Ken. They have good intention, but again, is most of the and they think like even if when I have the question, I've got great comment here on Instagram of 2 new followers on Instagram. So thank you for following me. They had great comment, but again, I asked the question: what does the Scrum guy is not telling you that you learn by experience? Yes, again, it's experimenting, it's empirical. So that was to agree on such things because it's just a guide. So they make it like to make a kind of a visual to help people start it. A good Scrum Master will try to follow it and like in the Shuari process, where this is a Japanese kind of martial art through the knowledge acquisition. So the Shu, usually when you're in your Shu period and you start doing a sports or doing Scrum, for instance, in software development and else, so you better like not doing by the book, but at least try the recipe that works, that's been proven to work for the last 25 years, yes? So do it exactly as it's not prescribed, but suggest and highly suggesting. Then after, when you get kind of better, and you're going to see, because if you are really empirical and if you do a meaningful retrospective and you talk with your team, so you might come back with, oh no, that doesn't work, so let's forget it. Even if it's in the guide, we don't care if it's in the guide, it's a guide. So maybe it's not working for you because in your context or the behavioral aspect of your teamwork, it's not working. So don't force it because it's in the guide. Please, it's a guide. If the guide tell you, like, look at the peak of Machu Picchu and you want to look at the stairs that amaze you, look at the stairs that amaze you. This is your experience. So, okay, a guide is a guide. So stop writing me stuff about, no, the guide is this and it's a good cumbersome. No, it is not. It's there to help you, to help those who start up. But when you have a coach like me helping you, I'm going to give you some shortcut to get better, smarter, and faster before else. So that's the thing. So this is why when you start implementing and using Scrum, implementing the Agile value and using Scrum as a framework systems, you have to tailor it to your context. So I will give you an example. For instance, a lot of people will ask me, oh, the guide said there's 4 ceremonies or 4 events, which is the planning, of course, the sprint planning, followed by the daily review of that sprint planning. And I said review, actually, it's more coordination and see, are we still on target of what we promised to the business owner and the sprint planning. So the daily is not a report, it's not a stats, it's not a what I've done, what I'm doing. No, is do I have everything to make what we say the sprint goal happening or not? And if not, could I have help of someone even outside the team? So that's a meaningful daily stand-up or daily Scrum, whatever you call it. And then after you have, of course, a product review to review on the technical aspect of the product. Is it part of the, you should inspect most of, important, if the specification and the feature working and stuff. And is it working? Is it going to be a workable software? And are we happy with this? Is it in line with what the client wants and everything? So that's a product review. Is there a demo? Yes, you could agree on a demo, but this is the thing. Everything that I just mentioned up all the way to the 3rd event, it's all have to be agreed. So when I questioned this week on my Instagram, what does the Scrum guide not telling you that your experience will make you do with your team? It's what we call the team working agreement. I know they completely slept the release planning and stuff, but you don't need a release planning. We are not that fucking safe with their PI stuff. But I think it's important when you start a team, when you start using Scrum, you better get a team working agreement for what's coming up, okay? And the team working agreement should be reviewed at the 4th event. That is mostly important for newbies into Scrum, which is the retrospective, the team retrospective. A lot of people say sprint retrospective. Well, you just don't do the sprint retrospective. You do the team retrospective. It's about behavioral. It's about process and people first within the process, using that process and using all of these artifacts or whatsoever, what have you. And the naming of things, you could name it the way you want. So that's the thing. So when I use my business model canvas to help people visualizing and put in front of everyone to see, They choose a team name. They choose a vision, a mission for their teams. Not just the mission of the organization or the 5 values of Scrum. You'll see the 5 values of Scrum. They will put their values, 2, 3, 4. I see teams being so much creative. And this is when you are tailoring Scrum, because Scrum, it's fun when it's talking to you and your language and your industry and your context, and inclusively about what you talked about. So this is why I'm always laughing when I heard the Spotify model, and even the CEO of the Spotify is laughing like crazy and when ING Deutschland, they said like, oh, let's do the Spotify model. Yeah, well, you're a fucking bank. What do you do with a squadification and stuff? It's not even adapted to you. You should create your own stuff. And with the Enterprise Scrum for Business Agility, we already have some kind of tailored systems and template for the banking and insurance industry that work, including all the compliance to all these government agencies that look at you and that could slow you down about the promise of Scrum or Agile should get you faster. Yeah, but unfortunately, you have regulation. So you have, again, to adapt the Scrum system to the banking reality of having like kind of a visualization of all the what they call the CI and the CPI and all the indexation and whatever. So me, I am at the I'm listening to my client, and I remember like 3 banks that I work for. I work for most of them 3 banks, but 3 of them, they are very, very like excited when I show them this business model canvas about compliance to government legislation or to any other association of broker if they are a team of investment banking and so on. So it's really important, So, and the wording and the naming and if they want to use a Kanban as a board, it's their choice. Otherwise, they do like a more flow of value things to deliver the update of any systems or the way they're gonna offer the services and the branch of the bank or online and combined. So really adaptation and empiricism and trying things, it's important. So that's why, so my example, sorry, I'm really passionate, as you could see. So my example talking about the sizing and estimation, it's coming, you'll see. So you have the team working agreement. That was the answer to my question that nobody got. Even if I get 2 great comments from colleagues, new people that saying, but they never, they kind of, they want to talk to the guy that has certain importance, but you not should follow it. Yes, but my question was what it's not telling you and what you could use as a good Scrum Master. If you're a great Scrum Master, you're very creative and with your team because you consult them. So that being said, and of course, people will say, no, there's 5 events because, and you see, it's not even marked in the guide. Oh, I love it. Yes, the 5th one is the refinement session. That was back then called the grooming, but grooming, unfortunately, because of the mass media and all these very disgusting things about grooming kids for pedophilia, we said like, nah, we don't like to use a word that is too much associated right now, like grooming kids for prostitution. Sorry. So that's why, like, maybe in the whole literature, you will see grooming. It's like the chicken and pigs in Scrum. But nowadays, I think that we said refinement because we'd like to refine the product backlog and to make sure that meaningful stuff and very precise and specific things will go into the sprint backlog. Okay, so that's the cycle. If you don't mind, I hope you launch with me. By the way, I see like 10 people right now on the YouTube, Instagram. I cannot see if there's people, but anyways, I got a like here. No. So, all right, guys. So sizing and estimation, you'll see. It's something it's not even in the Scrum guide, and a lot of people doing it, and I will tell you why they're doing it. If you follow my meme this week, you see what I'm getting there. So, and when I teach it, I will tell you a glimpse. I will give you a preview, a teaser of all yours truly, consult enterprise and teams about the sizing and estimation. But what I wanted to say, like the answer to my little question that I asked at the beginning of this one. So that's the thing. If you follow me on Instagram and LinkedIn, you're going to have some kind of teaser of the Friday Live Agile show, sometimes a survey, especially, we could do survey on Instagram, but it's mostly on LinkedIn. And then we could, because again, I'd like the interaction with you guys, my dear subscriber. Across all platforms, we are about 7,000 subscribers, and only those who are running with me on the Dare Real Agile podcast, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and also on Deezer, SoundCloud, SoundHound, and soon on Amazon Prime. Yes. yours truly going to be on the Amazon podcast, the new stuff. So please focus, Alexandre, focus, Coach AF. Getting back to, before going in the heart of the subject, it's been half an hour. I'm just rambling. I'm very happy. The full thing like a lion. So, did you agree with your team on anything that is suggest, not prescribe, and to the Scrum Guide? Because the Scrum Guide is just like a kind of a template to help you build the canvases. But again, people like me and 20 years of experience, I got so much canvases already myself. So I will just suggest a lot of canvases into the team and according to what they want to do, they want to achieve. So even the refinement session, that came up maybe at the early age of Scrum. Even my team asked about it because the planning session back in the day, let's say for a 2-week sprint, it was suggested to spend the first day of the sprint doing the planning, some not ready story that the product owner wanted to put into the sprint goal of a 2 weeks. So of course it took them the whole day. The probably I've seen it myself. I've participated in it myself as a CX, customer experience designer, supporting the product owner of our software. And you are invited. So the morning of a planning back in the day, that was the refinement session actually, with a lot of people that didn't have to be there. They could have continued to work and blah 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 blah. And then we are not even talking about sizing the thing, because the morning was taking the future product backlog items, refine them, exchanging questions with the PO. Another thing is not important, but you see it. So a full day of non-production. So you start your sprint of two weeks, which is about 10 with 9 days already. And back then, some Scrum Master and even product owner, when they did the budgetarization, you'll see I linked it to estimation and sizing. They didn't even calculate what we call the focus factor, the FIC. So that was very like an important moment in the history that some teams had a retrospective. I remember that team, especially over at SoftSync Technology, they said like, "Hey guys, wait, that's too much. That's too much. We think that the business owner and the product owner and the client representative should come up in the planning session with the goal they suggest and with refine and groom and ready." So the definition of ready kind of start there for those scholastic who like to medium and blog about everything. Like, anyways, so to keep it simple, they said like, no. The planning should be only the matinee or the afternoon, and then we set to go. But for that, to put an item in our sprint backlog within a sprint goal, we need you to be responsible and come up to how could I say that? Yeah, come up to something ready, fresh, and blah, blah. So, as you could see, they decided to create this extra event, and then they make the rules about it, and then they agree. And moving along, so often I have teams like said, should I be there? Okay, so it depends. If the business owner, product owner come up with a series of user stories, if you like to call it user story, or any task to be refined, because according to the priority you did in your other agreement or your other planning, that should be put into or not the next sprint. Because refinement, you should have in mind that you need to have item into your backlog, into your value list, that is worth for the next 3 to 4 sprints. So you're really ready to go to a flow kind of systems. So that's the ideal. Of course, the reality could come something else. But the thing is that I'm always consulting to teams. Well, only if the subject announced by the owner of the product could concern your input or not. And again, you could do a 3 hours refinement session whenever you please. It does not have to be fixed in time of the sprint. Of course, with the focus factor and the calculation of your capacity, you should take it into account. Because the focus factor, it's an average calculation of the amount of time that you should put. And you'll see it's all connected to the sizing and estimation. Bear with me. Like this video and share it, because you'll see. It's all interconnected. Remember, if you don't understand substantion, which is the interrelation of all elements and all people, You don't understand Scrum. Simple as it. So now, yes, so you manage to have people, so you could gather everyone into the refinement session, and when the product owner or the demander is stating, oh, here's what I'd like to talk, and to say, oh, I'm the QA tester, I'm not there yet, you don't need to do any estimation or any sizing, so I'll go continue my work. Yeah, perfect. And everyone agrees. So that's the thing. This is, the 4 other ceremonies are kind of a must-have. It's not even like obligatory, it's not prescribed, but it's a must-have. The refinement, it's a nice to have, especially a nice to have for concerned stakeholders that could be meaningful for the advancement of the backlog and the priority of what should be done. Yes, so, and the DoD goes with also a link with your definition of that. So that's why when I see all of those discussion about estimation, story points, the Fibonacci sequence. So here's the thing. These are all technique for those type of Scrum Master or coach who are so uncertain. They like to complicate things to make simple things. Because I don't know for you guys, tell me in the comment below, but I've been, as I said, working for about 2 decades on it, and mostly, of course, because even with business agility, we try to bring it to other teams, other more soft skill team. The hard engineer, I'm not just talking about software programmer or front-end programmer, which I respect everyone, duty and skill set. But you know, when you've truly been through some kind of ego wars, the gods of programming, you know, these engineers, they have a PhD in software engineering, and they are like sometimes drop out like me of astrophysics or physics. There were rocket scientists that end up in a cubicle making code, making complicated JavaScript and stuff. So, and they will say to the product owner, who is someone in marketing with maybe an MBA, could you go F yourself with your demand? This is not response. So, I mean, as a Scrum Master, I had to mitigate some kind of these conflicts and so on. So when you have a coach, a consultant in Agile, came into a room and said like, oh, we're gonna do Fibonacci, and we are all scientists, and we know that Fibonacci is just a sequence of numbering to show a kind of a growth up. We said like, what the fuck? We don't need this, because we know what we have to do, and we know that it's gonna take us 2-3 days, and then we put some things. And now the coach and the Scrum Master said, no, we have to have points. Because points will be a relativity, it's a relative estimation, etc. And now all of a sudden, like, everybody looks each other and say like, I thought that Agile was more flexible. I thought that Agile was keeping things simple and just deliver shit, right? Meaningful shit. And now they came with all of these. I'm not even there with talking about those who bring serious legal play, or those with the coloring of, oh my God. If you open space to kind of revamp something, or preparing the business transformation, not the Agile transformation, or if you don't, okay, I could agree that you could start playing games and have fun, like what we call in French, les lacs à l'épaule, when all the teams are meeting into a cottage, making food together. So that's another story. That's something that I like in human relation and talent acquisition to do. Yes, I have no problem with that. But when you're in a practical, empirical system, and you have to make decisions based on the 4 values and the 12 principles of the Agile Manifesto to make you a better team, to make you a smarter way of delivering things, I don't think it's time to disturb people who seriously work on things, who have they have the code in the mind, and they just want to produce the thing that they agreed to produce. Don't bring them for a 3 or 4 hours meeting talking about the Fibonacci or the pizza size or the t-shirt size or whatever. So of course I did that. Of course I did that because sometimes the client needed it, especially on a Friday afternoon, maybe with a beer, where it was possible to have alcohol into a meeting. So I don't mind, because sometimes some of my team have shoes, like they do the retrospective, and then after the retrospective, they needed a kind of a workshop with me to explain them a couple of things, or the lunch and learn that I did often. So, but again, you see, it's not into the productive times. So there, I have no problem with that. I have no problem explaining you the 1, 3, 5, 8, 21, and 40 of the Fibonacci sequence, and agreed, and make you a base system to say like, oh, if it's a 21, so you have to go back to the product backlog. That's the limit because it's too big, so we have to shorten this. And if you want to do user story, I think user story are good, but you have to apply it with creativity. You have to talk to the programmer that you understand what the user want to do in the systems, so they could change the systems accordingly. So you have to be meaningful in the all set of the process. What I'm saying here, and the meme that I posed this week about like estimation is just be careful, guys. It's like this debate on velocity. I don't know if I want to do this in the future Friday Live Agile. Tell me in the comment below if you'd like to talk about velocity that have nothing to do with leadership. It's have everything to do with the team knowing itself promise for the future iteration, okay? But it's the same thing with sizing. Some things will say like, Fredo, please, Coach AF, don't even bring us there. We don't estimate, or we estimate constantly, because at the daily, they will call the shots. So, okay, we said that we could do this feature or this component within that sprint, but now we discover some new information that make us estimate that it will be impossible. So you don't have to write it to an Excel sheet or to a Jira, whatever. I saw some people making Jira with estimation, sizing, and re-agree with the calibration and stuff. Most of the time, it's a waste of time. So this is why my preferred meme, I think it was the one with the guy from Ancient Alien. We are not saying that estimating stuff make you slower, but making estimation make you slower. Yes, because if the developer have to gather with a business analysis and with the QA and to define and to re-estimate, no. The sizing and estimation should be done in the working team agreement, and you could have a sizing, a calibration on sizing, if you really know the product. But when you work in R&D, don't even go there, because you're going to discover new stuff. You're going to maybe see your competition doing something else with another type of set of tool or automation tool that could reduce the thing. So this is really a work in progress. So when I see business owner asking for estimation, especially that if you really adopt the agile mindset and the lean startup culture, you have a fucking fixed budget. So what's the point of having an estimation to see how much it's going to cost? Okay, it's not like me. If I do a business proposal of my professional services, it's even the same. Sometimes they I don't know, because I'm agnostic, I'm holistic. I'd like to listen to your team before proposing you. So I don't know how many training you want. Of course, if you want to purchase an executive consultant, like those little sheep with certification but no experience within the big kind of agency, okay, my guess, just do it. And you will have a doer, not someone who will make your team more creative and more efficient and developing something that will be beneficial and meaningful for your organization. So if you want it, that's okay. It's not me. It's not my agile. Don't call me. Call me if you want something creative, if you want someone to listen to your needs and context, and then I will do propositions. So that is the same thing. The estimation, if someone reforce, I will say like, okay, so you want me to train and coach 15 individual, and the mandate will be tailored to just that, and then maybe in the future we could renew our contract. So I will give them a bold estimation. My cost on hour is that, and I estimate that for what you're asking and those training, because we already do the training. So yes, it's 3 hours per training, this amount of people, so is the cost. But then again, it's time and material, so you might save on cost. But the thing is, we should have a kind of a fixed budget. I'm not talking about fixed budget here, it's a fixed budget. And the greatest example I give in my training is when Steve Jobs came up with the iPhone, right? The Apple phone. That was called the Apple phone back then, because I was there, I know. And they said like he made 3 teams with 3 budget and 3 timelines, and he said like, that's it, and show me what you have as an MVP with it. So they had 2 years and about $2 billion in R&D to came up with this touch screen, and I don't want to even go with this little bastardization. Oh, you stole it to this company, whatever. Okay, the thing is, the great example of a great leader like this, whatever you like his temperament, because I'm sick and tired of those psychosociological people who always bring, Jeff Bezos and Steve Jobs is that, and yeah, but that's the thing. These guys are making money, are making value into the society, are changing the world with design and user experience. So You might not like their temperament. You might tell them they stole, like Bill Gates, he stole this. Yes, Bill Gates. You might not like their temperament. You might tell them they stole, like Bill Gates, he stole this. Yes, Bill Gates stole IBM, and then Apple stole Bill Gates, and so on. So everybody is like stealing ideas. It's called co-creation, guys. Okay, there's no competition. You play golf, and so whatever. Okay, so please stop it. Stop it. It's annoying to read this on LinkedIn, on Facebook, whatever. Stupid morning. So don't spend the day doing this. Spend the day creating something like the FLIP program, the Next Level Agile coaching program, my Talent Agile, that is a cornerstone of my value to help people getting the best talent and agility, lean, and Scrum. So that being said, the team agreed, okay? And don't waste time on things that is not contextual. And the big buffing, especially in big corporation, because, yours truly, I work in worldwide class organization, big state corporation, medium national corporation, and small and medium business, helping startup. So I see it all sides. So this is why what I'm telling you, of course, if you are a Scrum Master right now, or even a product owner listening to me, and I thank you who follow me and to listening to me, and I hope you like this video. I hope you learn something, and then in the comment below, you will teach me something as well, because I'm still eager to learn from your perspective, your perception. But the most important thing here is always tailor it, adapt it to your business context and technological context. And also the behavioral aspect of your team. If your team is very senior in terms of programming, don't bother them. Don't even go there. Because you will, I remember I walk in for a bank, I won't name the bank, but the bank asked me, could you do a 3 hours matinee of sizing and estimation and bring the team to this? And I said, okay. So I made some kind of visual, and I have it. I could provide it to you. But what I didn't know is these guys already went through some kind of it with one of my colleague or predecessor with it. Because, in the bank, you could have like 50 consultants, including 30 agile coach and so on. So anyways, but what I did, I said okay, guys, I've been asked by Suzanne, let's call her Suzanne, that you need to calibrate your sizing and stuff. So I started I'm always doing a workshop agreement. So when the next 3 hours, so what we expect to this, and then they start talking we don't even know why we're here, but it's nice. It's a Friday morning. We have cafe, by the way. Let's have a slip of my great coffee here in Cancun. So I put the list of things, and I didn't do the training with my booklet and what I sent them to them. So we just talked about what they needed to know about sizing and agreed between them. And the challenge was they were a matrix type of things, which is not a dedicated team. If you want high performance deliverable and high performance production, you need to dedicate your team. You have to stop working in matrix systems. But of course, this is the chicken and the eggs again. Because now the manager or the leadership will say yeah, but okay, yes, we give you the budget. Oh yeah, that's the thing. So yes, Steve Jobs. Today, I don't know. The full moon is really kicking out. So in Agile, why we highly suggest to go with the value is give them everything they need to produce a most viable product and be on the market first. Like the example I give in my training about the iPhone. That was it, because I was there also as a CX and UX consulting a team in Cupertino back in the day. So you see, they didn't go that. They have to deliver things within a fixed time block. So whatever after that, within those 2 years, if you do Kanban, Lean, you implement Kaizen, you do some kind of Scrum, you do this flow, you do that, whatever. Of course, SAFe will not get you there. SAFe is not a system to have an iPhone deliver in 2 years with $2 billion. Let me tell you that. Same with Tesla, okay? SAFe is a shitty thing just to think you are and do Agile for those who need reassurance and need fucking estimation. They don't want to give you a fixed budget. They just say okay, work like in Scrum, but all the rest will be waterfall. So the real name of SAFe, guys, is Water Scrum Fall, because we make the developers, the designer, and the people who produce, the people who do, we make them slave to a system that is not working, is not agile, it's anti-agile on all aspects. So this is why yours truly and Mike Beadle and others, we write SAFe without the A, because it's not Scale Agile Framework. It's just Scale Framework, and we don't know the fuck you do. You don't have any values. You don't have it anyways. So for me, it's like, I even being agnostic, but scientifically, I could prove you scientifically that SAFe is not Agile. It's certainly not Scrum, because there's no empirism in that. It's centralized control. So of course you won't deliver. You won't be the Salesforce of your industry, because Salesforce was a base Scrum. You won't be the Spotify beating and capping more user than Apple that Apple launched with the iTunes back in the day. So so these are the disruptor. Uber, they don't use SAFe. Okay, those who use SAFe, it's your bank, it's your insurance company. Those who don't move, those who think that they are the king because they made and they print the money. So that's the problem. Okay, so don't even okay. Stop it. So stop it. And so this is why I will never suggest SAFe to someone who would like to go out in the market and be before Samsung with a very special phone or whatever. So anyways, so you have fixed budget and you have a fixed timeline, and then the MVP consumption. So you should not spend time or waste time estimating things. Maybe the team itself, then the velocity, it's all interconnected. I told you it's all interconnected. They could have at least a sizing session to agree between them on what they're going to promise the business. And then after the way I coach a Scrum Master and other Agile coach is, okay, the CFO or the business really want to have an estimate on how it's going to cost, because even if they at least agree on the Agile mentality of giving them a fixed budget for a certain amount of times and they deal with it, so this is why we don't have any change requests in Agile and so on, they might want to kind of have how much does it cost? But you know, as having a cafe with your product owner, how you could have such a thing into your big organization. For me, I tell them simple. You have your grid with the focus factor I was talking before. Remember this? The focus factor, which is if an employees have to work or to be at the office or on Zoom, whatever, for an equivalent of 8 hours or 40 hours a week, which means that, of course, we're not expecting, this is the 120%. So the focus factor for validate the capacity, I'm giving you a freebies right now, is calculating a certain percentage of the real availability of a worker to perform the task and what has been asked. So you have the paid hour, right? So the paid hours is probably 7 hours out of the 8 hours, because most of the places don't pay the lunch time and the break. So your 110% is 8 hours. 7 hours is your 100%, and then you put the FCI, the focus factor there. Okay, the focus factor equivalence will be when you start and you have to learn, and it's a new team and new people, you better put it at 0.6, which is 60%. Okay, so your 7 hours become more it's 5 hours a day, and I have a sprint of 10 days. So 10 days is this, and then you calculate for everyone, John, Julia, Samantha, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I have this. So my hours of production to promise the sprint goal is this, and we know it's going to cost 7 hours by 40 by 6 people. So for me, I was really bold. I said they want a budget, but no problem. We are going to release this MVP 32 sprint. Okay? At, I don't know, $10,000. And including, of course, the Scrum Master and the others. And so I give it to the product owner. He's going to go into his budget, making it happen, because probably in his budget, he doesn't just have my team of feature component base or what have you. He have other things. So they already have it because it's fixed, okay? It's fixed. It's fixed. And then, of course, you could save because someone will have working fast, or someone is not completely out. And when you calculate your confirming capacity, you have to, if you unfortunately work still in a matrix, or if certain specialty within your team is not needed, such the architect, for example, or the infrastructure system guys, or the build master, of course, they're not full-time into your project. So you give them exactly the hours. But this is for the production. This is what should help you with the sizing and capacity of producing the goal, the value. So this is why we could laugh, we could have a beer and laugh about it, but technically, okay, it's not even theoretical, it's technically, you never need to estimate. Never, ever need estimation. Asking your team of those who produce value, meaningful artifact, meaningful product, meaningful software, they should not spend time estimating. That should be the duty of the Scrum Master with what he knows about the team he's building. We know the paid hours. Already we know it. So, and this is what you're going to spend. Then the productive hours, it's another KPI that you could change. And then, but as I said again, a great coach like me that you could hire, or a great Scrum Master, we are going to be at the services of the team and the product owner and the business owner to at least size. Because yes, it's important before promising such a spring goal, you better have your thing fixed. You better have your team agreed on what is a small chunk of work, what is a medium chunk of work, what is a large chunk of work. And you could see my video on my channel about sizing and estimating training I do at the gym. If they have a gym in their workplace, I bring them there and I make them estimate by doing some kind of dumbbell reps. Yes, yes, yes. So because you see, like you have to think of, okay, so all these tasks, and I will need help of this guy, that woman, this and that. So yeah, it's a lot of time. So that's a big one, and it's a big one to, could I deliver it? And I said I'm gonna do 8 reps. Is it? Or I'm gonna fail? Huh? Sprint to fail. So that's the thing. And by the way, guys, I'd like to let you know some things. I have nothing against failure. I think it's important that we learn from failure. But as Einstein says, don't repeat your failure more than 2 times. When I do the sizing type of things, I said, okay, so test it. And at the retrospective, let's talk about it, how much the sizing was good according to all the other factors that you know, because you will have impediment, of course, that around the course. So that was the thing about like estimating and sizing. I would say estimation, never. Sizing could be a great tool, a great facilitation for any Scrum Master or coach like this. If you'd like to know more about it, please go in the description below. Book your 15 minutes or 30 minutes call with me. It's a free call, and then after we'll see if it's going to be a paid kind of consulting for you. But truly, we got more than tools to help you having a great session of sizing to help your team facilitating their capacity to deliver what they promise. So this is, again, for the team. If you'd like to talk about velocity as a KPI, how much is not? Because, again, like estimation, if the management don't understand that Agile should be a fixed budget, so then after, you could, of course, want to have an idea of the release or the sprint, how much it costs. But again, if you just need budgetary type of things, you give us $2 million. Now, the fact that till December, we're going to have 5 sprints that cost $10,000 each. So it's $500,000 till the end of the year, period. And then the velocity came in kicking because there was, could you do it faster for the same amount or even less? Of course, that's what. But this is not the responsibility of the team. You should never bother your team giving you numbers. The Scrum Master itself, as a great facilitator, should know and work it to present it with the product owner to any kind of financial committee that you have. So I hope you learned something with me today, this beautiful Friday, March 5th. I'm Coach AF. I'm signing off, and please teach me something in the comment below. And like this video, share it, and I'm welcome to your tips on PayPal. Give me the amount you want. It's voluntary amount, so to show me your appreciation of my tips. So tips me for tips. And of course, I'm accepting Bitcoin and Ethereum. Have a nice weekend and see you next Friday. And stay tuned. Sunday or Monday, I will announce on Instagram what will it be for the next Friday Agile Live. Or no, it's Friday Live Agile, is it? I don't know. But I wish you all the best, guys. Namaste. Cheers.